20 years ago, forgetting an English word meant something. You had two choices: search for it or struggle until you remembered. Sometimes the word came back immediately. Sometimes 30 seconds later. Sometimes while taking a shower, or driving home, or lying in bed. That struggle felt frustrating, fair enough, but cognitive scientists have discovered something very surprising. That struggle wasn't slowing learning. It was actually helping create it. Today, things are different. You forget a word, you open ChatGPT, you ask, it answers almost instantly. Need an email? Done. Need better grammar? Done. Need vocabulary? Done. Need today's homework? Oh, so many students are familiar with that. Done. Need an IELTS essay? Done. Need speaking ideas? Done. Learning English has never been easier, which creates a paradox. If AI has made learning easier than ever, why aren't we witnessing the most fluent generation in history? Because here's the question almost nobody asks. If AI remembers, retrieves, writes, explains, corrects, and even suggests what to say next, which part of learning still belongs to you? While artificial intelligence is getting better at English, is your brain getting better at English too? Or is something else happening? That's today's investigation. Who is really learning? You or your AI? Welcome back to the LinguaFox Investigation Series. Every investigation begins with a belief that sounds obvious until we examine it more closely. Today's belief is simple. The more AI helps us learn English, the faster we'll become fluent. It's an exciting idea, right? Perhaps it's even true, but before we accept it, let's investigate it. Every major technology changes learning. Today, AI can explain grammar, correct pronunciation, rewrite your email, improve your vocabulary, generate IELTS essays, create speaking answers, simulate conversations, even finish your sentences in the best way possible. At least that's what it feels like. It feels like having a personal English tutor, available at every second of every day. On the surface, that sounds like extraordinary progress. And in many ways, it really is. But every good investigation begins with a contradiction. Imagine two learners. The first writes every sentence alone, makes mistakes, searches for words, experiments, rewrites, receives feedback. And the second, however, asks AI to rewrite almost everything. Correct grammar, suggest vocabulary, generate ideas, finish paragraphs. Both produce excellent English. Only one produced the English. Both produced English. Only one produced learning. Perhaps beautiful output doesn't always reveal real learning. Every technology changes what the brain has to do. Writing changed memory. Search engines changed information. Now, AI may be changing language learning itself. Psychologists use a phrase, cognitive offloading. It means transferring mental work to an external tool. Research on retrieval practice and the generation effect has repeatedly shown something very remarkable. People remember language more effectively when they retrieve it or generate it themselves, rather than simply receiving the answer. The brain changes when it has to work, not when someone else works for it. AI reduces effort. Learning requires certain kinds of effort. Those two ideas are not always compatible. Have you ever read an AI-generated paragraph and thought, I understand this perfectly? Then you close the window. Someone asks you the same question, and suddenly you can't produce even one sentence without opening AI again. Understanding can create the illusion that you've learned. Producing reveals whether you actually have. Recognition is not retrieval. Reading is not speaking. Watching is not remembering. Looking at the answer can feel almost identical to knowing the answer, right? The brain, however, can confuse familiarity with mastery. Does this mean we should stop using AI? Not at all. This investigation is not against artificial intelligence. It's against replacing thinking instead of strengthening it. Imagine working with an excellent language coach. If they answer every question, finish every sentence, and solve every problem for you, you don't become fluent. But if they challenge you, correct you, push your thinking, and give feedback, you improve faster. AI works the same way. The real question is not, should I use AI? The better question is, what mental work am I still doing myself? Perhaps the future of language learning is not human intelligence or artificial intelligence. Perhaps it's intelligent collaboration. Let AI explain, not remember for you. Let AI challenge you, not answer everything immediately. Let AI give feedback, not replace practice. Look, technology becomes most valuable when it strengthens thinking instead of replacing it. Today's investigation is not asking whether AI is intelligent. It's asking whether you are still doing the thinking that learning requires. Because learning doesn't happen when answers appear. Learning happens when your brain struggles, retrieves, generates, tests, fails, adjusts, and tries again. AI can accelerate learning. Everybody can agree on that, right? But it cannot perform your learning for you. If there's one idea I hope stays with you after today's investigation, it's this. Every time your brain retrieves a word, that pathway becomes slightly stronger. Every time AI retrieves that word instead, your brain loses an opportunity to strengthen itself. Technology is not the enemy. Passive learning is. Perhaps the greatest promise of AI is not that it can think for us. It's that it can help us think better. But only if we refuse to outsource the very mental work that learning depends on. Because every time someone else retrieves, remembers, writes, or thinks instead of you, there is one question worth asking. Who's actually learning? Case file 3. Closed.